Greetings, friends. Many pranams to you. It is indeed a delight to join all of you in this motivational workshop and prayer for good results in examinations organized by our Singapore Namadwaar. It gives me great pleasure to join you all in this very noble venture. I begin by offering my salutation at the holy feet of Bhagwan, God Almighty, and our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Maharanyam Sri Sri Muralidhara Swamiji, by whose boundless grace I sit before you today, and who is the inspiration and guiding force behind this initiative and Namadwaar Singapore itself. Before I begin, I wish to offer my appreciation to this wonderful team of Namadwaar Singapore who've managed to organize this much needed prayer meet in order to pray for the success of young friends like yourselves who are going to appear in this very important challenge in life. Thank you for having me. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I wish to share this story that I heard once. It's very relevant to this context where we find ourselves today. The context of examinations. There was a man, a very wise man, a teacher, with a lot of experience and knowledge. He had a select bunch of students, young friends like yourselves, who lived with him and studied everything that he taught. They spent many years under his close watch. He taught them everything that they needed to know. Back then, it was Gurukul style of teaching. The students had to live with the master, with the teacher, and learn everything. After many years of training, they had pretty much acquired all the knowledge there was to attain. It was time for them to leave, fly out into the world as beautiful birds and scale great heights. As that time was nearing, the wise teacher, the Guru, told them, "My dear young friends, you have spent all this time with me. You are like my very own children. Before you set out into this world, there is one very important lesson that I want all of you to learn. And this lesson, my friends, is the most significant of all that you have learned till today. I will give you an address and the name of a gentleman. What I want you to do is I want you to pay a visit." The students were quite surprised because they thought that their teacher was the wisest of all and he taught them everything. What more there could be to learn? But then if he says something, there must be a meaning to it. They were curious. They said, "What should we go and ask him? Should we tell him that you sent us? Should we ask him any specific questions? How long should we spend in his company?" The teacher said, "You don't have to do anything. There needs to be no letter of introduction here. You just need to go there, find this address, and quietly observe what he does. That's all you need to do. You just need to spend one day there and observe what he does. Nothing more. That's it." the students said, all right, let's do this. The very next day they set out. They went to that town and they were looking for this place. They thought they would find some sort of a school or a classroom or some sort of an educational institution, but to their surprise, this address led them to a store. A store right in the middle of the town, in the marketplace. There were lots of shops there, and this shop was one that sold stationery items. They wondered for a minute if this was the right place, but then yes, it was. And they checked if that gentleman lived there, and the neighbor said, yes, it's his place. So the master said, go there and observe. You don't even have to talk, let's do that. They all went there and stood at some distance. There was a window and they could clearly see what was happening inside. There was this old man, a frail old man, sitting there. He was holding something in his hands. When they watched carefully, they found that he was holding a few pencils. Pencils that he had made himself. And it appeared like he was saying something, he was talking something. When they went close, they could hear what he was saying. He was really not talking to a person, but he was talking to the pencils. He said, my dear pencils, you are my children because I have created you. It gives me a great sense of satisfaction that you have taken this fine shape today. I'm going to put you in the store, and lots of people would purchase you and they would take you with them, and you will go out into the world before you leave. There are a few things that I want to tell you. I want you to bear in mind always. He was addressing the pencils. Our friends, the young friends, were making careful notes. They found this very strange. Who would be talking to a pencil? But our master said that there's something to learn. Let's do it. Keep our ears sharp. And they were trying to listen. He said, I want you to remember 5 things. 5 important points, dear pencils. Point number 1. Always remember that sharpening is necessary for you to perform well. True, isn't it? If a pencil is not sharp, of what use it is going to be? A pencil would have to be sharpened often in order for it to be able to write well. It's a very beautiful point. If we take that point and try to reflect, it makes a lot of sense, isn't it, dear friends? Many a time in this journey, from when we were children to the point where we are today, you and I, we've all undergone this process of sharpening, isn't it? It began with our parents. And then our teachers took that responsibility. Sometimes, at that point of time, when we were being sharpened, for our own good, we felt the pain. I felt it when I was a student. I couldn't really see the benefit, but oh, why is he always saying like this? Why is he always saying that I could do it better? This is not right. You should be doing this. Why is he doing this? I felt hurt. The sharpening hurt. It does. But now I understand, just as you will too, if you have not already, that it is that sharpening that was done by the parents and the teachers that truly has made us who we are today. Selflessly, they have worked on us. Why? Because they wanted us to do well. The one satisfaction that we will perform well in life. That's all they needed. And they sharpened us, and that sharpening is important. And what can we do in return, friends? There's only one thing we can do, and we will do it right now. We will say a big thank you we will express our gratitude to our parents, to our teachers, every single teacher that has taught us, to our schools, for spending the time and the resources upon us to sharpen us. Even though I felt it was painful at times, I understand the value of that sharpening. And I bow down to every one of you, the teachers, for giving me this, for spending time on me. And we will all express our gratitude before we actually go to the next step. A big thank you. A big thank you to every teacher. A big thank you to my school. A big thank you to Namadwaar Singapore for organizing this. And to my parents for what they have given me. The second point, the second lesson. The pencil maker was telling the pencil, remember, sharpening is important. It's for your own good. Then he goes to the next point. He says, always remember, dear pencil, any surface that you come into contact with, you will always leave a mark. Remember that. Do not forget. And let that mark be one that will never be forgotten in a positive sense. Leave a good mark. Leave something that everyone will cherish. A wonderful lesson, isn't it? A beautiful lesson. Something that we need to remember. We may think that we are an insignificant individual amongst the millions and millions and millions of people in the world. It's really not so. Every one of us is significant, and every one of us will leave a mark on the community, on our world, in this entire ecosystem. We need to remember that with that sense of responsibility, and always, always bear in mind that that mark needs to be something that everybody is proud of, that I am proud of myself, that would benefit all, that would be for the well-being of all. Always we need to bear that in mind. Now the pencil maker goes to the third lesson. So he says, sharpening is important. You will always leave a mark on every surface that you come into contact with, so let that mark be good. And then the third lesson, in case you leave a mark that you regret yourself, you wish you hadn't left a mark like that, do not worry. It can always be erased and you can redo it. There is always an opportunity in life. You can redo that mark. The pencil maker told them, so true, isn't it, friends? That truly represents successful people in life, gutsy people in life, and courageous people in life, isn't it? As they say, it's not about how high we climb. It's really about how many times we get up after we have fallen down. That represents grit. That represents greatness. And great achievers in the world have done what they have done, not by simply flying high and high and high. There have been many setbacks, but they never gave up. They always got right back up, and they were ready to make the climb again till they finally got to that point. That point called as success. So it does not matter if the mark that I left was really not something that I desired to. Maybe I failed. It does not matter. I can always pick myself up and I can redo that mark. I can redo it in a manner in which it finally comes out to be this beautiful picture that the world will adore, that everybody will be proud of, that will give me an immense sense of satisfaction. It is always possible. I'm now going to share a video with you, something that we all know of, yet probably never looked at from that angle. It summarizes a few great people in this world, people that achieve greatness, not just by succeeding at the first attempt. They failed many times, But every time they got back up and they went towards their goal and achieved this greatness.
He wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his teachers said he would never amount to much. Fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. At age 11, he was cut from his team after being diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency, which made him smaller in stature than most kids his age. At 30 years old, he was left devastated and depressed after being unceremoniously removed from the company he started. Rejected by Decca Recording Studios, who said, "We don't like their sound. They have no future in show business." His fiancée died, failed in business, had a nervous breakdown, and was defeated in 8 elections. If you've never failed, you've never tried anything new.
If a mark did not turn out to be exactly how we wanted to, there's always a second chance. We can rub it, we can erase it, and redo it. And every one of these great people have done that. Imagine life but for them, modern life as we see it. They have left that mark, isn't it? So it is always possible, friends. So do not worry. I'm sure that some of us were thinking, oh, exams are already staring down. I'm very, very close to exam date now. There was so much of time that was available. I wish I had made better use of the time, better use of the resource. I think it's all gone. I don't think I can make it anymore. Some of us may have such thoughts and such feelings and regrets about the time that we wasted. We did not put to optimum use, but I'm telling you, do not worry. Really do not worry. It's never too late. Never give up. The one that wins the race is the one that will run the race, and the one that will lose the race is the one that gives up at the starting gun. So never give up. There's always time. There's always time. And we can turn things around if we have that willpower and mindset. So do not worry. Pick yourself up from today, from this moment, and work your way towards the examinations, and you will certainly perform well. And that is really what history shows. Important lesson. We can always redo it. We can always leave that good mark. And the pencil maker now imparts the 4th important lesson. He says, "Dear pencil, you may look fanciful outside. There may be these different colors on you, but you know what really matters? The core matters. It's that lead that is in the center, right in the middle, that is not seen, that's concealed, that really defines the pencil, isn't it? It's not the exterior, really. The core matters," he says. Yes, friends, the core matters. And what is that core? That core is really what we are made of. That mindset that we have, that resilience that we have, the ability to be able to find that inner strength within every one of us, especially when we face a challenge. And that really is what is going to determine how successful we will be, not just in this examination, in every challenge that we encounter in life and in life itself. The core matters. That core, it represents that inner strength, that courage. And how does that courage come? Can I keep just saying, I want to be courageous, I want to be courageous, and then it just happens? No. To be courageous, I have to prepare myself. Preparedness, my master would say. When I sit down and prepare, then I have the courage to face the challenge. That's how it happens. I need to prepare myself. I'm sure every one of us have been preparing already. Our schools and teachers have helped us to prepare for this challenge, and we have put in our work as well. It's all right if we have been rather slow here and there. There still is a lot of time if we start today, so it's important to prepare, to be prepared. In Tamil, there is a very beautiful phrase that goes, Muyarchi Thiruvinayakkum. Hard work, preparedness, it's important. I'm going to share a video clip with you. It's a very beautiful video clip, something that every one of you will resonate with, by a personality which I'm sure is a favorite of most of you in this generation. Please watch this video clip from a man who truly has defined success in his field, who has become a global icon. And listen to what he has to say. There's a very beautiful lesson that's relevant to what we are discussing. Preparedness. That's really what he's talking about. Let's enjoy this video clip.
Pre-match preparation is extremely important because that's something which is within my control. When I walk into bat, I should know that yes, I've prepared to the best of my ability. I couldn't have done anything better. That is when I feel that I'm ready to go out and play. There is no player in the world who can actually walk out and say, today I'm going to score 100 or I will get minimum 5 wickets and come back. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. But I believe in controlling the controllables. Something where we don't have control on certain things. Those things you obviously cannot waste your energy in trying to figure out how can I control this. You would much rather focus all your energy on the things that you can control, get the best results possible. But making an effort is in your hands. Giving 100% is in your hands.
The little master, Sachin Tendulkar, says it himself. He says, isn't it? When I go out to play, I need to make sure that I have given it my best. And he uses this phrase, control the controllables. I can only control that which I can control. And what is it? It is my preparation. When I walk into that examination hall, I need to be sure that I've done my bit. I've done my work. That's not something that I have left or taken a chance. I have really worked. I'm controlling the controllable. The rest, things that I cannot control, I will leave it to the Supreme Being. I will leave it to God. I will leave it to the higher powers. Beautiful words of wisdom. The most practical manner to put it, isn't it? So I need to ensure that I have done my preparation. I'm sure every one of us have. And as I said, there's always time. By the time we are ready to take the examinations, we would have gotten to this point. Do not give up. Start working from today and control the controllable, as a little master says. And then we go to the fifth, the final important lesson that the pencil maker imparts to the pencil. He says, always remember, dear pencil, you will always be held by a hand. And it is that hand that will hold you and that would draw these beautiful piece of art on the paper, that would write these beautiful poems. You will be held by that hand. So surrender to that hand. A prayer. What is a prayer? we surrender ourselves as that pencil. We surrender ourselves to that hand of that God, that Supreme Being. We tell Him, I have done my part to the best of my ability. I hand myself over to your hand, your safe hands. Whose hands can be safer than His? The safest pair of hands. You ensure that the writing comes out well when I sit there. And for that, I will do the prayer. There was a young boy who was once traveling in an airplane. It so happened that midway, there was a lot of turbulence. There were all kinds of announcements about the weather not being good and it being in a very, very risky situation. Every passenger was rattled, everybody was scared, people were crying, people were doing all kinds of things. This little boy was quiet and calm and he was just smiling. The man next to him was quite amazed to see his level of composure. He actually thought the boy did not understand the situation. He didn't understand the situation that they were in. He said, can you understand the situation that you're in? Yes, I do. The weather is very bad. And what can happen is probably something very untoward can happen. How come you're not worried? The boy said with a smile, I'm not worried. You know why? Because the pilot, the chief pilot, is my father. If there's one man who would really want to take me home safely tonight, it would be him. And I know for a fact that he would be putting in his best effort to ensure that I get back home to my bed safely tonight. In that sense, I know I'm in the safest set of hands, so I'm not worried because I've surrendered myself to those safe pair of hands. Exactly what we are going to do in prayer. Surrender ourselves to the safest pair of hands. My master would say, there's a very simple formula to success. He says, there was a farmer who owned a piece of land. What he did was, he really toiled hard every day. He worked, he plowed, he removed all the bushes. He had the seeds, he sowed the seeds. He did everything, but it did not rain that year. Will he have a crop? Not possible. He did the work, but there's no water. If there's no water, where will be a crop? Another time, what happened was the exact opposite. He did not do any work. He did not plow the fields. He did not sow the seeds. He did not do anything, but it rained and rained and rained and rained. Will there be crop? No. Why? Because no work has been done on the field. No seed has been sown. So what needs to happen is, on one hand, I have to work, I have to plow, I have to sow the seeds, I have to do my bit, I have to use the pesticides. And then it has to rain. Both have to go hand in hand. Human effort in the form of my work and divine grace, the rain. When these two happen at the same time, we get a bountiful crop, a good yield, success. Human effort is what we do. I've studied, I've done my bit, I've prepared myself. And then divine grace, the rain, by way of prayer, that's really what I seek. And when I do that, I certainly can be assured of a good result. Today we are here to do just that. This very wonderful students' prayer meet, first of its kind, organized by our very own Singapore Namadwaar. What we will do is, we will close our eyes for a minute and pray to God in any name, in any form that we believe in, that we were taught in, our tradition has taught in. God is just one, no matter how many names and how many forms that He has. It does not matter. So as we have been taught at home, as we have believed personally, let us all pray. Pray that we perform well. Pray that we make everybody proud. Pray that we succeed in this challenge and in every challenge in life. Pray that the sacrifice of our parents, our teachers, our schools that has gone into this situation is all justified, and pray that we do this for our own satisfaction. We will pray for 1 minute. At the end of this minute, what I am going to do is I am going to chant this mantra that is known as Mahamantra, which is the one that my Guru, His Holiness Maharanyam Shri Shri Muralidhar Swamiji, has taught me. It is a mantra that is found in the Hindu scriptures, Kali Santarana Upanishad. It is a mantra which is very potent, which is thousands and thousands of years old, which many have practiced and achieved success in life. Those of us who are interested in joining me with this mantra can do so. In case you have your own method of praying, you can do that as well. It really is your choice. But I am going to chant this mantra in a manner in which my Guru has taught me, and that will be my prayer and the prayer of all of us at Namadwaar Singapore, for all you young friends to achieve greatness, to succeed in exams and emerge successful as stars, as beautiful birds as you fly out into the next phase of life. It will be a prayer from all of us to every school and every educational institution that has prepared you to reach this level and that has joined this effort. So we will now observe a minute's silence and remember, as my Guru would say, prayer is not information to God. It should be heartfelt. So whatever it is that we really feel, let us say it. God is all ears. He really is listening. So let us tell Him that for 60 seconds, and then I will chant this Mahamantra 11 times. Those of you who wish to join can join. Others can pray in silence and say your own prayers as per your faith. We will now make our prayers. What we will do is we will recite this Mahamantra 11 times in a certain manner. 6 times I will say it loudly. 3 times I will say it gently, just moving my lips like how we would whisper. So 6 plus 3, that's 9. And 2 times I will say it in my mind with no movement of the lips. So 6 times loudly, 3 times as a whisper, gently moving the lips, and 2 times in the mind, silently. And we will keep this prayer in mind, and this mantra will be the most potent prayer that will carry all our wishes and aspirations to the holy feet of God. And we, all of us in Namadwaar Singapore, pray for your success, your well-being. You can repeat this cycle any number of times at home. In case you need any clarification, you can always reach out to our friends in Namadwaar Singapore who can help you with this chant. We will now begin the chant. 6 times loudly, 3 times gently, 2 times in the mind. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. 3 times as a gentle whisper. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. 2 times in your mind, silently. So that is it. A very simple prayer, isn't it? Hardly takes a few minutes. You can do it in this format. Or if you enjoy simply saying it aloud, you can do just that any number of times. At least make it a habit of doing it 11 times every day. Maybe in the morning, maybe in the evening, maybe at night. Or you can say it as a whisper if that's what you prefer. You may say it just in your mind also if you find that to be the most effective practice. Any way is fine. 632 is also very effective. So you can follow one of these methods. In case you have any doubts, do not hesitate to reach out to Namadwaar Singapore. On that note, I wish to thank you all again for this wonderful effort, for taking the time and initiative to join in. And I pray personally to Bhagwan and my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Maharajam Shri Shri Muralidhar Swamiji, to be with every one of you through this challenge and to ensure that you all emerge successful. Thank you all. Thank you for your patience.